So moving on, I'll be talking on CARES. Now this is one of the path-breaking treatment for keratoconus. Now patients who are, we do contact lens trial for the patient, we give glasses for the patient, but some of them are not satisfied because of their job profile, nature of work. They are having good visual recovery following contact lenses, but they may not be ready to go ahead with it. So as in a brief way, the management of keratoconus, as my colleague already spoke, structural integrity we have to maintain or control with the help of C3R. So this is going to make sure that the collagen cross-linking is not going to progress. But that is not the end of it. We have to give them visual enhancement in form of glasses, contact lens, or there's a procedure called as Intacs earlier. So, and if none of them is actually working for the patient, that is when we go in for a keratoplasty in such kind of keratoconus individuals. So in the early 2000s, we had the intracorneal ring segments. This was introduced in the market in an attempt to delay or prevent lamellar keratoplasty or penetrating keratoplasty. So this was basically a semicircular implant made up of biocompatible plastic PMMA. So this was causing flattening of the cornea, thus improving the quality of vision among patients. But over a period of time, we saw extrusion, migration, melt, infection of these segments, because of which there was a need for an introduction of a newer technology. So this is when emerged the procedure CARES, which is called as corneal allogenic ring segment. So this reduced the complications like extrusion, increased the biocompatibility compared to the synthetic intracorneal ring segments. So the technology was different, but the mechanism of action was still the same, and the principle was the same on which this was brought in. So Dr. Susan Jacob introduced this in the year of 2019. So in the CARES procedure, the principle being the same, instead of the plastic rings, we changed it into a donor corneal tissue strips, which was introduced intrastromally into the mid-peripheral recipient cornea. So this caused flattening of the cone in the center and thus improving the vision. So CARES basically looks at regularizing the cornea, and it's not a refractive procedure which is going to get rid of your glasses or contact lenses. It is only going to make your cornea more regular, because of which patient is going to have better quality of vision. It is based on the principle of Barakak's thickness law, where the central corneal flattening occurs when you increase the tissue in the periphery. So the main indication is keratoconus, where patient is looking for better quality of unaided vision. Patient is having poor recovery after contact lenses, they are intolerant to contact lenses, or they don't want to wear contact lenses, and patients post C3R. All of these patients we can definitely consider CARES, although there are some indications and contraindications. Pellucid marginal degeneration and post-LASIK ectasia are some of the other indications. Now, pre-operative planning is very important. Firstly, we need to take the pentacam of the patient. If the pentacam is less than 250 micron thickness, then definitely keratoplasty is the go-to option for these patients. And cone, any kind of an advanced cone also can be considered. Even the nipple cones can be considered for CARES procedure. So cone is not a major criteria. Anterior segment OCT has to be done to make sure that there is no scarring, because if the scarring has already set in, there can be no flattening that is going to occur after this procedure. And definitely specular microscopy to rule out any kind of fugues or endothelial decompensation. So once this is done, this is how the procedure is actually performed. So you take the donor cornea and remove the endothelium of the donor cornea. So we can use any grade of cornea as long as the peripheral is clear and there is no scarring. So this is a double bladed Jacob's trephine. So it has an inner ring and an outer ring of two different diameters. So the trephine is basically punched. So you get a 6.5 inner or a 7 outer, or a 7 with a 8 outer ring. So once this is done, the outer ring has actually full thickness up to the Bowman's membrane, whereas the outer ring has just stroma or a thinner segment. So this is cut open and extended. When you flatten, you can see that there is a part which is very thicker and there is a part which is thinner. Now this is placed on a dome-shaped customizer, again which is clearly designed for keratoconus CARES patients. So this ring has from 3 mm to 12 mm zone. So you would have done a pre-operative planning for the patient as to where you want to place the segment. Same thing is mimicked over here, and the segments are marked. So this is not a very big rocket science. Once you have planned pre-operatively, this is going to be very, very simple. So once these markings are done, the segment is cut accordingly as much as required. So this can be shaped, it can be kept in a normal thing. And after this, you need to place it on the Teflon and see whether it is matching your plan, what is previously done. So as you can see, this is the inner part which is thicker, having the Bowman's membrane, and the thinner part which is a stroma. The channel can be manually created or with the femtoLASIK channel can be created. Then in the host cornea, the same channels are marked before inserting the Kerr's ring. You can use the Y hook, which is specially designed for this, to create the channel and open up the channel. Once this is done, carefully the segment has to be placed, again making sure that the blue marked Bowman's member is on the inner side and the thinner stroma is on the outer side. So initially it will be a dried segment. While inserting, we have to put a lubricant on it or saline on it so that it's more smoother while inserting. And it's a very easy procedure. Once this is inserted, the pre-operative planning is done perfectly, then it is not a rocket science to do this procedure. As you can see in this photo, there is a significant flattening or regularization of cornea following the Kerr's procedure. So what happens, what are the benefits of this is that the Kerr's actually is placed on the mid-peripheral position and it prevents limbus vascularization or the central visual axis damage. It is patient's own cornea is preserved. We are not going in for a keratoplasty. The periphery, we are adding extra donor tissue again, which is very biocompatible, and this increases the thickness because in keratoconus it is the thinning of cornea which is the major problem happening over here. So we can see that clinically when we are doing a pentacam, we can see that there is increase in the betterment of spherical equivalent, topographical astigmatism, maximum and steepest keratometric value, all these we can see. But from the patient perspective, even though the refraction may be different, their unaided quality of vision is much better. A patient with 6/60 CF vision, when we are doing Kerr's in them, they reach almost up to 6/18. So their glass-free vision also is much better, following which they are more acceptable for contact lenses or glasses. So some of the main benefits of over DALK is that in DALK we have sutures, so suture related complications, the chances of rejection is prevented, surface dryness, surface issues are again prevented, and last but the worst option is when you are doing a DALK procedure, if there is a perforation, now in these young patients at a very early age you are going for a full thickness keratoplasty. So all these complications are actually avoided by doing Kerr's procedure. Now Kerr's also is a surgery, but it's a faster surgery. Patients are having better quality of vision. It is reversible. So tomorrow if you feel that this patient's cone is now, you're not actually placed the segment in a proper manner, the channel is already there. So you can redesign, recheck about the planning and then do it on the patient. And it's an early treatment making them contact lens compatible. Now, some of the advances that are happening in Kerr's is, as I told, over a period of time, people started customizing the Kerr's segment. So, depending on the cone, depending on the nature of the steepness, superior, inferior, the design of the cone, you can have multiple ways in which you can design these Kerr's segment. So, that is a very important thing. As you can see here, the cone, this is actually a very customized cone to make sure that the periphery is flattened and the central superior inferior is not flattened. So these are the main things which are important in case of a Kerr's procedure. Thank you so much.